Welcome to part 3 of the Pixel Walls demo. In this part, what I want to do is create a nicer looking graphic background for the little screen that I have. So here I've made a background with some kind of, it might be a top-down view of some huts that our little character can go into. What I'm going to show you is how to use this to draw to the screen, but still use the one that's based off the grid with the black lines to determine where the character can go or not. So check out the first 2 videos in this series if you haven't seen those already. Alright, let's get started, and I'm going to escape from that. And what I've done, I've made 2 PNG graphics. They're the same size as my other graphics. So the first one is the same size as my rooms.png that I made before, but I've called this one rooms_pic.png because it's kind of the picture of what those rooms should look like. And then I've made one for my puck character as well. It's like a top-down view of the puck. And the idea, I guess, is this a character like a caveman character, maybe with kind of curly red hair. Alright, so what I'm going to do is upload those 2 files to my sketch. So sketch, add file, and then just drag them and drop them into the sketch. And once they're added, they'll be in the project folder. And I'm going to load them in the preload function, just like my other images, but I'm going to give them separate variable names. So I'm going to say let bg-pic, I'll just say bg capital P for pic. You can't use a dash in your variable names. JavaScript doesn't allow that. So even though my file name is bg-pic, I'm going to have to call it bg-pic, all one word. And let puck hair. That's another one. And then in the preload, bg-pic equals load image, and then the name of the file. So that's where is it? Rooms.png. Did it not upload? Let's just check that again. Oh yeah, there it is, rooms.pic. It's already got, so I've got an error. Okay. Rooms.pic1, so let's create a new one. I'll just delete that extra one. And what I want to load is this one, so I just put in rooms_pic.png. And puck hair equals load image puck_hair dash 01.png. Okay, now the trick here is that I'm actually still going to use my original background to check where the walls are. I'm just not going to draw it to the screen. So remember, the way this works is I can move around with WASD, but if I try to move through a wall, it doesn't let me. But here's the trick. I don't have to draw the image to the canvas in order for that to work. So in the draw function, if I comment out that line where I'm drawing the image to the canvas, we don't see those walls, but I'm still going to get the behavior where I can't go through a wall. And that's because I'm checking the walls in the puck.js class. So when I try to move the puck, I'm actually just checking the bg variable itself. So we want to keep that bg variable so we can keep checking it. But what I'm going to do is, instead of drawing the bg to the background, I'm going to draw bg-pic. So all I have to do is just change what gets drawn to the background, and now I've got this more kind of graphically interesting background. And because I've drawn it sort of on the same grid as the one with the black walls, it's going to work. Now you might sort of ask, well, why couldn't I just use this graphic as the background? Well, the problem there is, remember, we're sort of checking the transparency of pixels, or you might also be checking for a particular color in the pixels, and that really constrains what you can do graphically with your background. So it's actually much more convenient just to keep them as 2 separate files, but just make sure that they are drawn on the same grid so that it makes sense for the user. All right, so the second part, let's now use this hairstyle for our puck character. And you can do this with any object that you create. If you create a class for a car that's driving around in a game and you want to use a graphic, like a little picture, rather than just a rectangle, you can use the same technique. So basically, you draw your graphic in a drawing program, upload it to your sketch, store it in a variable, and then in your object class, so here for me it's in puck.js, in my show function, rather than just drawing a rectangle, I can just draw that image to the screen. So I can say image, and it was called puck hair, I think, if I remember correctly, this.x, this.y. And I'm going to leave the rectangle there because we always sort of have to think about whether we're drawing from the center of the image or the top left corner. And I think in this place, it's going to, so you can see that the puck there is drawn from the the top left-hand corner. So the top left-hand corner of that puck graphic is sort of up here. That's where it's been drawn from. But the rectangle is, I set the rect mode to center before. So I'm going to fix that up. Now, I could do something like in my sketch.js, I could also set the image mode to center. But that's going to cause me another problem, and you can maybe guess what it is. My background, when I get drawn, it now gets drawn out of position. So I need to change where I draw this. So drawing the background pick at width over 2, height over 2, we'll fix that. And the puck, you can see there, the puck is lined up right over the top of the rectangle. So now if I just go back into my puck class and don't draw the rectangle, just comment out the rectangle, we'll just see the hair of the puck character as it moves around. So I think that's looking pretty good. One thing I might like to do is change the orientation of my puck. So if it goes to the right, the hair kind of turns around and I can see that it's moving in that direction. Or if it goes, let's say up, it sort of turns in that direction and then goes up. So I'll just show you how to do that. So one thing I can do is when I move the puck, I can remember which direction it moved last. So up, left, right, or down. And I'll record that as one of its properties. So this dot last move, and I'm going to say equals 0. And actually, it's a better idea here would be for me to make this a constant. So I'm going to say up, down, left, and right. I'm going to make those some constants here in the top of the sketch. So I'm going to say constant up equals 0, constant left equals 1, constant right equals 2, and constant down equals 3. I talked a bit more about this in the Have You Won video. It's a way of just making the code a little bit more readable. So now in my puck.js, I can say the last move was up rather than saying 0, which gets hard to remember. And then when I move, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to create functions to move up, move left, move down, and move right. So I'm going to say move up. And that's just going to pass on to the this.move. So basically, I'm going to take kind of this part and move it into the function inside. So here I'm going to say p.move left, and in the puck, when I move left, I'm just going to sort of pass that on. So this is just a way of kind of wrapping up what's going on inside the those move keyboard handlers inside the puck class. And I'll show you why that's a useful thing to do in a second. So p.move up, go back to puck, and that becomes that one there. And instead of p, it should be this dot move, this dot move, and then we've got move right. P.move right, and put that into the puck. This dot move, and finally move down. Go back to my sketch and take that out. P.move down, and go back to my puck and pass that in. So I'm just sort of wrapping up these different moves that it's making inside functions that are kind of named move up, move down, move left, and then each of them is calling the more sort of general purpose move function that the puck object has. Now the advantage of this is that for each one, before I move, I can record what my last move was. So I can say this dot last move equals up. This dot last move equals left. This dot last move equals down. Oh, sorry. It's going to cause problems. Right. And this dot last move equals down. Now I may be sort of treading on the toes of some P5JS built-in variables. Maybe those are there are kind of keyboard left and right constants, but let's see how we go. It might be okay. And so I'm recording those each time I move it, whether it went up, left, down, or right. And what I'm going to do is use that in my show function. So basically I'm going to say pop, push and then pop. And before I draw that image to the screen, I'm going to rotate in either kind of 90 degrees to the left, down, or to the right or up. So I'm going to say translate this dot x, this dot y. And that means I'll change this drawing position to 0, 0 because I've already translated there. But before I draw it, I'm going to say if this dot actually, I can just record the rotation, right? So rather than having a last move here, I can say this dot direction equals minus 90 would be up. So I'm going to say this dot direction equals minus 90. Left is 0. Right is 180. And down is positive 90. And then all I'm going to do is when I draw it, I'm just going to say rotate this dot direction. But I want to turn that into radians. And that will turn the puck in the direction that it's going. So, and I need to use a dot there, not a comma. So now if I move left, if I just click here, you can see the puck kind of turns in the direction that it's going. See that little, now it looks like, yeah, when I'm going right, that should be 0, not when I'm going left. I think I got those around the wrong way. So yeah, moving right is 0, and moving left is 180. So if I move to the right, yep, up, down, left. So it's a small thing, but it just helps, with that illusion that it is actually a character that's moving around. And often it's those small things that just make it some little interactive thing just a little bit more engaging for people. Right? It's just a sort of a level of care about how you present things visually. All right, well, that's the end of the Pixel Walls demo. You can adapt this in many different ways. You could think about having other layers that, record information about things like where stones are. So maybe you don't want the character to be able to move over stones, or there might be treasure chests or other like trapdoors that trigger events in the game. You could store information about where they're located using this kind of a technique. So happy creative coding, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you come up with based on this example.